Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 between Virtus.Pro and Na'Vi. That first game was a mission and a half. For like 77 minutes, 80 minutes, something like that. Who knows? It was a real long one. But even still, we saw Virtus.Pro finally come down ahead. They were in the driving seat for pretty much the entirety of that game. But Na'Vi just kept repelling them every single time they came for a high ground siege. Just again and again and again, their attacks got thwarted. But at last, VP managed to find the correct opening, caught off the drow when she didn't have that buyback available, and just swept the rest of the game from that. And that was all they could really do. So well played by them. So we'll see if Na'Vi are going to be a little bit disheartened after that game. I mean, they shouldn't be disheartened because they did well to make it last that long, in all honesty. I think it just depends if they're going to be suffering from some sort of fatigue, just because it was a long game. That would be taxing on any player, no matter how experienced they are. So we'll see how they're able to perform in this game. For VP, they're going to lead up with the Viper grab exactly the same as the previous game. So they're going to put that probably once again in the hands of DM. We'll see if they go for like the clockwork pickup as well, because I mean, Save and Save and DM did so much work in the early laning phase. Like, just V-Tune could never really get too much farm on the go because the support was always getting killed off, and they left him open to gank himself. So we'll see if they're maybe go for a similar sort of game plan. Both teams are really sort of thinking about what their initial strategy is going to be this game. Taking a bit of time on their reserve time already. So now we can lead up with the Venge. So it looks like they're going to go for the Drow Venge combo one more time. And VP are actually going to lead up with the Ench this time. So rather than going straight for that clockwork pickup. I mean, so they're perfectly happy with the setup they had in that previous game, because they definitely could do quite a bit of damage. That's for sure. So maybe this time they'll probably just ban out the clockwork, as that was just like the key initiation for the side of VP to get on top of this drow super easily. So they might leave in the lifestealer, because I mean, yeah, without that wave for the easy carry to get into the backlines, it wasn't too bad for VP in that respect, and Na'Vi in that respect. They'll take away the Tiny. VP will actually take away the Mars and the Slardar, so try and limit the hero pool for general. So see what Na'Vi are going to grab for their next ban. I'm sure they must ban out the clockwork. It worked way too effectively in that previous game. Take away the Spectre, so it's another hero that can easily go on top of this drow. We'll see what VP can take away for that third ban up. I don't think they're too worried about the Death Prophet. I don't think they'll bother banning that out. I mean, Iceberg, he was... I don't know, every single time he used his Exorcism, he either died too quickly so he couldn't really get the full duration off, or everyone on the side of EP just bailed and he couldn't really get on top of them all that well. But they actually ban out nonetheless, so they're paying a little bit of respect there onto Iceberg's DP. So we'll see what Na'Vi are going to take away their third back. It's got to be the clockwork, surely. The clockwork was like the main reason why VP won that game, in my opinion. Like, really helped crush the lane, plus also gave them that easy initiations every single time onto the drow. I think they're thinking about it. I know it's what I would ban. It was just way too much of a pain in the ass. And they're actually going to get rid of the PL. So they're mainly just focusing all their bans onto the Epileptic. They actually take the clockwork themselves. Okay, so this is a little bit of a swap around now. So that's going to be for Roger, most likely as a position 4. Or General. General does actually play the core clockwork. I know that's not really something you tend to see nowadays. You always see it as like that 4 role, but there is always that potential for sudden RV. VP respond by picking up the Tusk. So that's going to be a saves hero this time. Another way to get on top of the Venge or the Drow in the laning phase. Lock him in with the Ice Shards and set up for an easy Nether Toxin. And deal quite a lot of damage to either one of these two who do get caught. And now we're actually going to go for the Phoenix as their 4th pickup. So it's looking like this is going to be a core clockwork then. Seems how you've already got the Venge, which is going to be the 5. And now the Phoenix, which is pretty much guaranteed to be the 4. So this is a core clock. So VP got their choice about what core hero they want to lane up against this clockwork. They could potentially go for the Lifestealer again. Okay, but instead they should go for the PA. So always going to be able to blink strike over the top of those cogs to get out of them. As well as the Phantom Strike to be able to get on top of the Drow as well. Depends if the Drow is actually in a position for the for Epileptic Kid to get close enough to. I mean, it's very similar sort of playstyles coming out from both teams right now. So it's looking like both mid laners are left to grab their heroes. Maybe VP just want to go for some sort of drum to try and get on top of this Drow a little bit easier. So they could grab up the Storm Spirit this game. Maybe even the Ember Spirit. Or maybe even the Void Spirit. I mean, I'm not sure how much Iceberg really plays. Oh wait, no, obviously I need to look at GPK, not Navi. But it said, even so, well, exactly the same rules apply for GPK. Either the Void or the Storm. They actually ban out the Void Spirit on the side of Navi there. But Navi, they sort of need some other frontline hero. And they've got the Clockwork, but that's not really the best wall to keep a Drow safe. You never need to see something that has like either a bigger AoE or someone who can just try and soak up more of the damage. Maybe... I think a Kunkka. I think a Kunkka grab's fine, because at least this time you haven't got the rage on the Lifestealer that could easily purge off the X. Plus it's a nice grab onto the PA as well. As long as if you time it right, she shouldn't be able to blink strike out, and so it should be an easy catch for her. The VP are losing a lot of their reserve time right now. They want to make sure they ban out the right hero. Okay, so they do actually get rid of the Kunkka. It's all heroes left in the pool that Iceberg to pick up. Huskar? No? Nah, Huskar's too much of an easy target for the Nether Toxin. That'd screw him over. Forget that. I think a mid Tide Hunter could actually be quite nice here. Right, it all depends on what hero Navi do actually end up picking up. Obviously, Navi is still after one more ban though before that. They're actually going to take away the Magnus. So VP are going to grab the Invoker. See with those long-range tornadoes, potentially going to get the grab onto the Drow. Plus with the Alacrity, might make it a little bit easier to get the kills onto the egg as well in the coming fights. But now the Tide would sort of get screwed in the mid lane. Pretty easy to get just EMP'd up. You lose quite a lot of your effectiveness. You can't farm too well. So maybe not the Tide in the mid then. Puck. A Puck could be quite nice because then you've got the Dream Coil which will be able to hold people back. And that might be enough to make a bit of space for the Drow. Also having the silence with the PA as well so she can't just blink strike away. So set up for a little bit easier ganks perhaps. Plus the Puck does quite nicely against the Invoker in the mid as well, being able to dodge quite a lot of the spells with the phase shift. Yeah, so they're going to go for the Dragon Knight. So here's a nice big tanky body that they can chuck in the front lines. Obviously we might struggle a little bit in the mid lane. I mean, obviously, it will be difficult for GPK to go for kills because of the natural tankiness that comes with a Dragon Knight. But obviously, it's very easy to get those EMP lands onto the DK as well. So, might suffer a little bit in terms of like CS or effectiveness in the actual laning phase, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, looking at these lineups, I don't know. I think I'm favouring VPs this time. It's not like a clear-cut difference, though. Do, and stop. Perfect timing. Even a pause from iceberg. So everyone should just be going to standard sword positions. We'll see if they're going to do their big standoff on both sides of the river. Big clash there, but that'll never happen. Everyone will just sort of like sit on that high ground. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. 4 heroes from VP heading up there. 5 heroes from Na'Vi heading up there as well. Actually, a line drawn out there by Ilias. Maybe thinking about trying to go for some sort of wraparound play. It's not the easiest though. It seems like you're always going to have someone sat here on the high ground as well. Unless they go for the big wraparound and go up through that bit. But no, they're just going to sit on the high ground. Exactly the same as the previous game. Ilias is drawn out. He's like, guys, I want to do it. Or does he just want to go place a board? He might just want to go place a board, perhaps. So, everyone, have their little standoff yet again. Obviously, just on... Actually, no, they're not even on different sides of the map. It's exactly the same side of the map. Exactly the same stance.
I will commit this to memory.
And once again, nothing found. It must just be like a heavy CIS thing to do. Or maybe both teams sort of been checking the VODs on the other and then realising that they like to go for those sort of early pushes and try to counter it out, maybe. Who knows? But even still, no action's going to happen. Everyone just falls back to the roles that it's the positions they're meant to be in. Bounty is going to be traded 2 for 2. So we'll see who wins up this matchup in the mid lane. I'm thinking that GPK should have a little bit of a better start, but Iceberg's done a million times better on the blocks this time. Gonna have a really nice position on this high ground. Not that it matters too much, seems like he's physical, but... Bless me, another sneeze! Why am I sneezing so much today? I need to have like a quick mute for this mic so you guys don't keep getting your ears blasted. There's actually still 3 heroes for VP set up this top lane. I don't know if Save's actually been spotted yet, or maybe he's just hanging about trying to see if something happens, but it takes too long and Ilias actually ends up TPing down to the bot. Needs to provide a little bit of assistance for Epileptic Kid. Roger, trying to stand his ground with these fire spirits, but he's taking quite a bit of damage though. Needs to be a little bit careful. Doesn't actually have a salve either, so he's going to have to use quite a bit of his tangos to try and heal back up. Ooh, jump forward for Epileptic Kid with the slow on top as well. And that's actually just going to be first blood. Nice little quick move there by VP. Seeing that Roger just wasn't falling back, got in range of that Phantom Strike, and that just sets up for a really easy first blood. Just constant pokes and prods coming out from the dagger and the right clicks from Ilias as well. So both at the top lane, always want to fly and save, just making sure that both of these camps are constantly blocked up. Neither one in any sort of pulls going on. It's going to be pretty standard sort of creep wave movements. Maybe more creep drags might come out from the save. Just trying to drag them back towards the tier 1 tower. Let a bit of easy farm fall into the hands of DM. Ooh, jump forward once again from Epileptic Kid and Ilias. Deals quite a bit of damage onto Roger. This time he's actually got his level 2 up, so he's able to take a dive away. But obviously that's a really long cooldown on that ability, so there is the potential that they could just go for another move like that. I think Roger's making sure he's a little bit further back this time. Does not want to get caught out by the same maneuver. So far, Epileptic Kid is having a pretty nice time down here. Not a huge amount that a Clockwork can really do to try and stop the farming of a PA. Especially since I support is just the Phoenix. Sure, she could throw out those really annoying fire spirits every now and then to, you know, try and disrupt a couple of last hits coming up by Epileptic Kid, but it's not exactly the biggest counter to hinder the farming speed. But in the mid, Iceberg doing absolutely amazingly in terms of CS right now. 21-7 to GPK's 11-2. So just massively ahead on both last hits and denies. So GPK about nearly close to his level 5. You know, Iceberg's already passed his. And he's still got a couple more creeps yet to farm up in this wave. So really nice moves out by him at the moment. Oh, and up top, Roger actually makes a rotation towards the top lane, sets up for a kill there onto DM. Maybe thinking that there's not really much he could do at this bot lane. He's just getting constantly harassed out, and they're not being able to stop the farm of Epileptic Kids. So he may as well just try and do the same sort of thing for his own carry up top of V-Tune and try and make a little bit of space. And that he definitely does. But now this is just even more free farm for Epileptic Kid. He's basically just going to have 100% CS rate now. So it will just be him and Clockwork solo up against each other. So now it's just back to a try up top. The bounty runes spawn. They are able to grab one of them. Roll the snowball forward. Just connects there. It does actually get there full duration, but the ice shards come out from save. It does block the escape for Roger. And with the tag team, that slow is just enough to let DM and Ilias get in range. And the Hadoken punch that comes out from the Satyr is enough to finish him off. So Roger falls once again. I think his TP still be on cooldown, but it's actually just about to come off. So at least he's not going to have to walk all the way back to the lane. But level 6 already up now for Iceberg. Popped that Dragon form already. Meanwhile, oops, sorry, my bad. But meanwhile, GPK is still a third of his level away from that 6. Now comes the arena, plus the rotations coming out from the save. They're going to trap him in there. The arena hit, the EMP hits. Another Hadouken comes out, and then one more hit from GPK finishes him off. So despite the fact that Iceberg's having a much better time in the mid lane, nice rotations there from VP to settle the score a little bit and give GPK just a little bit of breathing space. So Vichu's actually swapped his lane up now. He's come down bottom set to try and lane up against Epileptic Kid. Always One of Flies joined them as well, plus Roger. So now they've got an offensive tri lane going on. And they're able to do a much better job of zoning out Epileptic Kid this time. Meanwhile, it is this DM and Ilias left to their own devices up top. So this tier 1 tower is going to be going very, very quickly. Gone before the 7-minute mark. DM, is he going to spot General? He doesn't actually see him just yet. I don't think. He's going to head towards the lane. And now he will actually spot him. Gets that one hit. That'll come the cogs. Doesn't quite get the connections to DM. So he's still able just to slowly walk away. But I still think he's just going to get ran down here. There's no way he can escape all this poison damage. Meanwhile, down bottom, Epileptic Kid trying to get the grab onto Roger. But can't quite find it. So at least he will survive. But even still, there's loads of space up top for DM. He's just going to have complete free farm this game himself. And just start harassing down this tier 2 tower already. Especially seems like he's going to have already quite a nice little creep wave coming in with him here. To start pressure onto this tier 2. But Always Want to Fly falls. Once again down bottom. And another lane switch comes out for the side of Na'Vi. Vichu comes back up towards that top lane. We'll probably see Always Want to Fly come up here again. Even still, everything just going really well for VP so far in this game. It's not the hugest amount of farm disparity between the two position ones. Only like 250 gold. Which ain't too bad. Seems like it just feels like VTune's having a much tougher time. But the gold chart says he's not. So I'll believe that. Because that ultimately is what this game comes down to in the early parts. Who has more gold generally translates to who's more effective, but sometimes not much. Ilias looks like he's trying to snatch a few creeps away in the jungle, but ends up just signing his own life away. Actually, a 3 kill streak going towards VTune as well. He's trying to bring down the Wild Wing, but it's too damn tanky with the enchant bonus onto him. But once again, Epileptic is left down to his own devices at the bot lane. He's going to carry on free farming up. So we had to see some sort of big rotation come out from Iceberg. I mean, he's already used a Dragon form. That first Dragon form, he did not even get a single hit onto the tower. How did that happen? GPK must have done a really good job of just controlling him up. Because that is pretty much just like the whole game plan for a Dragon Knight at these early parts of the game. Just try and get these tower kills. But as I was saying in the drafting phase, he's just an easy target for these EMPs. So he constantly has very little mana. Sure, he's got the Soul Ring to try and let him use a few of his abilities, but gives him 150. It's just enough for one use of the Breathe Fire. He's still not going to bother popping the Dragon form just yet to try and push onto this tower. Another kill for DM up top lane. Gets a free one onto Roger there. Just trying to limp his way into the trees, but just weren't going to make it in time. Even Save was just waiting for DM to get the last save. But now Iceberg's getting involved. He's just ran into loads of members of the side of EMP. Iceberg, the EMP on top of him as well as the Cold Snap. And he falls super quick. Always Want to Fly is going to fall pretty quickly as well. Even bringing 3 heroes into the snowball there just for show. And he falls again. And that was the Dragon form used by Iceberg as well, and he immediately just dies. So unfortunately he's just not really getting the best usages out of this ultimate at the moment. Actually, neither tower has actually been hurt yet. Well, until now. So the first bit of damage on these tier 1 towers at 10 minutes in. That's really weird. Well, actually, never mind. There was a couple of damage hits onto the Radiant tier 1. Iceberg, he's rotated back in it. Immediately gets rolled on by Save, hit by the EMP as well. Taking a bit of damage. Now comes the Sun Rays. Not going to be enough though. He still ends up dropping. It looks like Save will pay with this with his life. But once again, always wanting to fight. It will die one more time. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade. But again, it's a screwing over the mid laner on the side of Na'Vi. This Iceberg's having a real rough time right now. Meanwhile, Epileptic Kid, he's still just off free farming, doing his own thing. V-Tune has pretty much got the same sort of scenario though. Very similar in terms of net worth between these two heroes. Like 30 gold difference. But really big creep stacks right now. It's a quad stack on the Ancients. I'm not sure if the Drow actually has the capabilities to really take this that effectively right now. This is going to take a really long time. Maybe with the Wave of Terror coming out from the Venge, it might speed up a little bit. But even still, this stack's going to take a very long time to take down. GPK building that Meteor Hammer. Going to be going for the old Cold Stat Tornado into the Meteor combo. Very difficult to try and survive for any hero on the side of Na'Vi. Maybe Iceberg will survive it if he's solo, but even still. Definitely take a while. I mean, as I was saying, this stack has taken so long that there was only like, what was it, 50 gold or something difference between the two carries. And now because it's taken so long, it's actually a 800 gold difference between the two of them. Because Epileptic Kid's actually able to get last hits. But maybe once all these creeps actually die, we might see that gap close a little bit. As they are all worth quite a bit of money. He's jumping up there. No, only 500 gold. No, only 300 gold. So, it actually, 300 gold difference between it. So, maybe slightly not quite as efficient as just getting normal creeps at this point in time. Just kind of lacking the damage to actually be able to take those kills relatively easily.
Did I hear a squeak?
Ooh, rocket there from General. I think it flew over the top of everyone on the side of EP, so they realised they're all just hiding up on this high ground. So the Dragon Lance online for V-Tune, going straight for the Hurricane Pike. Definitely be a good way when the PA Blink strikes on top of her. She's going to be able to use that, make a little bit of space between the two. And hopefully by that time, General might be able to come in and just try and get between them. Provide a little bit of assistance for the Drow. Because that is going to be their main game plan. Like, Na'Vi have to make sure that this Drow survives. If the Drow ends up dying, then their whole entire lineup is going to completely crumble because they're not going to have any damage. She is literally their only source of damage this game. Battle Fury nearly online for VP, and they've actually taken down the tier 2 tower at 14 minutes in. Super early tower kill there. It's the one downside to the blur usage. The creeps just completely ignore you. They run all the opposite direction. Blink Dagger up for Iceberg, I just saw. I mean, it's going to be a nice way for him to initiate, but this is a lot of dead money now. I mean, the only items he's really got given stats are these, and it's not a huge amount, so he's still relatively basic at the moment. And if you're going for a Blink Dagger, it means you want to try and set up for a few more kills early on. But that means V-Tune's going to have to start getting involved as well. You're just really lacking damage without this Drow at the moment. It looks like VP, they've gone for a spoke up play of their own. 4 heroes heading down through the bot lane. No one actually is here on the side of Na'Vi, so not going to be able to find any targets. I think now the Drow showed herself in the mid lane, so they're going to completely change their trajectory. They start heading up towards the triangle. Actually, no, they just want to grab the bounty. It's not going to go too crazy. Then this ward actually ends up spotting out a lot of the members of VP. So Na'Vi are going to try and go for some sort of counterplay right now. Heading on in. Iceberg's leading the charge with this Blink Dagger. We'll see who's actually going to focus down to the main target. It's only DM that they actually got vision of. They're still hunting General with the rocket flirt. He gets the vision onto Ilias, and Ilias ends up dropping. So they get a kill, but it's just the position 5. And this was a lot of time used up that V-Tune's not farming, and yeah, all you get is the Enchantress. It's really not the target you're after. Meanwhile, while all that was going on, Epileptic Kids are sat at the top lane, farming away with the creep wave, plus the creeps in the jungle as well. 1,300 gold over the top of the Drow at the moment. And working towards that Desolator. Gonna have it online pretty soon as well. Only about 1,500 gold away. So maybe VP want to go for a Serp in the mid lane. The Ice Shard's connection there from Save. Going to block off the skip from General. But nice hook shot there onto Roger. Gives him the space to be able to get out of there.
One by one, they fall.
So General will survive. Has used his hook shot very defensively there. But, I mean, it's not like Na'Vi are really looking to get too many kills either way. I mean, they definitely like the kills if they can get them, but VP just not going to give him the opportunity whatsoever to try and actually find any. At least he's got his Blade Mail now though, so if any sort of aggression comes out once again, he might be able to stand his ground and potentially try and turn it into a favourable engagement for the side of Na'Vi. Vichu got his Hurricane Pike online. Going for the Manta style was his next item. So Roger needs to be a little bit careful. Still quite a few members on the side of VP hanging around. Tornado collects GPK onto General. EMP just drains all of his mana away. Perfect Ice Shards there from Save. My god, you couldn't get any better than that. Locks him in place. VP, they are coming over to maybe trying to make some sort of play happen, but they might have just overextended themselves. Save needs to run away. Hook shots get baited out, but General actually misses. Oh no, they're still on the charge trying to find something else. Save's getting pretty low. He turns around to punch off, make a little bit of space for him on General, but it's not going to be enough. And he still manages to fall down. So Na'Vi, they actually find a kill. I think that Ice Shards was just too perfect that it felt like VP needed to make a play with it, but unfortunately they dawdled a little bit too long, and they couldn't quite get an effective trade off of it. And now everyone on the side of Na'Vi is going to be sieged away onto this tier 1 tower. Even the Dragonfall commit by Smoke. The other VP going to come in forward. They can try and make a play happen. They even use the smoke. The EMP connects onto Iceberg, but there's no other sort of follow-up damage. They just drain his mana and that's it. So they lose their tier 1 tower as well. So Na'Vi, they'll take that. Vichu's doing a pretty good job farming. Seems how he's only 1,500 gold behind the PA. And they go for this Roche, and it's dropping so quickly. Just absolutely melting, especially with the alacrity on the PA. It kills it. And then Na'Vi, they try to come over to do some sort of counterplay, but it's way too slow. Looks like General's is going to end up dying here. So they get the Aegis and a free kill. We'll probably just start to see him carry this aggression going forwards. Maybe just could start trying to work up to the tier 2. But GPK's going up to the high ground. He walks into 3 members on the side of Na'Vi. He gets completely focused down. It looks like even Save's going to drop as well. Epileptic Kid, he's not done though. He wants to keep pushing forwards. He tried to get a grab there towards the fly, but he's getting controlled up by too much by V-Tune, and he drops down to the low ground, but he still gets caught out. His Aegis has gone down. Iceberg's actually taking quite a bit of damage out of himself. The squad back in there aggressively from Always One Fly brings them back into the egg. They're all taking loads of damage. Epileptic Kid, he's just going to die again. Even TM falls. Ultra kill for V-Tune. Every single member on the side of VP dies, and they only get the kill onto Iceberg. What a catastrophe. It looked, I mean, just where GPK just walked up onto that high ground, just got completely caught off by surprise, melted in a second, and then the rest of the team just quickly followed. Just Vichun was able to sit all the way at the back, just firing away, dealing so much damage. I mean, it was mainly where Epileptic Kitty jumped onto Always Wanna Fly, because you sort of need to get the kill onto the Venge. Otherwise, she'll always just save the Drow. But then, obviously, if you're jumping on the Venge and you have no support, the Drow is just the one hitting you, and you die too quickly. So really well played there by Na'Vi, taking a massive engagement, and they've pretty much just brought this game back down to an even standing point. Even just taking away that Aegis super easily, getting the double kill onto the PA. So I think that's shaken VP up a little bit. Maybe they've just taken a little bit of knock onto their confidence there. Manta online now for Vichun as well. Going to ramp up his damage a little bit, plus give him a bit of survivability. BKB queued up for Epileptic Kid as well. Needs some way to just not get constantly controlled up in these fights. Not that it will save you from an egg stun though. I think, yeah, they didn't even get the outpost grab for the 20-minute mark, did they? I can't scroll up to check, but I think Na'Vi actually managed to capture it before the 20-minute mark. So unfortunately, that super early tier 2 kill doesn't actually go to much use. And now Na'Vi are taking a tier 2 of their own. No glyph available. So it ends up falling. Thought maybe Na'Vi could have potentially kept this aggression going forward and tried to force onto a bit of damage to the tier 3 tower. They're not going to commit for it, and they will actually fall back. So it looks like everyone on Na'Vi, they're all grouped up. Maybe think about going for a smoke play. There is one on general. I think they're just waiting for something to get delivered. What is it? Well, it's actually a Shiva's Guard on Roger, so that's a pretty nice timing on this item. Especially for a support. He's actually got a better net worth at the moment than general does. So maybe general's just sort of fallen into that pseudo position 3.5 role right now. So see if this is able to have a nice little effect for the side of Na'Vi here. We'll see what the Shiva's Guard is actually able to do. But they're also just grouped up. Maybe just trying to bait out Iceberg. See if they can get some sort of counterplay going on. But VP are pretty much doing an identical thing. They're all grouped up themselves. Oh, I say that and they split up. So still only a 1k gold difference between the two position ones. BKB on 9 for Epileptic Kid, as well as Iceberg now as well. They even go for a smoke up, heading up to the river. They see the Drow farming up at this top wave. Instead they're going to move up into this high ground. The ward there, it will actually spot them coming in here. That's going to allow Iceberg. He's actually going to jump in aggressively. Gets the stun initial onto save. But instead, the Epileptic Kid just jumps back, gets the immediate kill onto Roger. Brings it down before he can get that egg off. It looks like Save will finally fall, but Always Wanna Fly has already died. And Epileptic Kid just keeps on charging forwards. Starts hitting the general with a blade mail. Does way too much damage to him. He's forced to try and run away. Gets to blink up to the high ground to keep himself safe. But now he's just right in front of Roger, Iceberg. And he still ends up dying. It looks like Iceberg will at least fall, and even DM got the kill onto General. So it ends up being a 2-4. The Sunstrike! Oh, it connects onto Vichun. But unfortunately, the Exhort... Actually, you know, it's a very high level Exhort. If that was max level, I think that would have killed him. That was so close there. If they got that kill, that would have been absolutely amazing there for the side of VP, getting the team wipe. But instead, it is a 4 for 2. Sure, they lose the PA, but even still, they'll take that. Nice bit of swing there in the golden experience. I mean, the PA is a large source of their actual physical damage. They're probably not going to be able to take any sort of objectives off of this, but even still, it is a successful engagement. Especially once Vichu gets this MKB online, he'll actually be able to start ripping through the defense of the Epileptic Kid. So that blur ain't going to do nothing. My clarity's everywhere. What's going on? Everyone's monitoring up. They're ready for an engagement. They've gone for a smoke up, heading through the river. They're actually going to change down and head towards the triangle, but everyone else on the side of Na'Vi is all in their normal jungle. Elias is leading the charge up to the high ground. Puts the sentry ward there, and they're going to be able to net that kill at least. They get a vision onto Iceberg. The dagger comes out. It would be a difficult target to initiate onto. There is the EMP, just about manages to connect and drains a bit of the mana away from Iceberg, but not that it really matters. Even that Observer Walk gets immediately cancelled. And then VP does fall back. It's a fair engagement, so they'll just go back, get a little bit more gold on their side. But Na'Vi want to keep this aggression going themselves. They do an immediate smoke up as a response. We'll see what they're able to find. General leading the charge up to the high ground. It looks like they're actually going to run into a few members of VP there. Epileptic Kid at the front. He tries to go for the blink strike back, but he gets hooked too quickly. He gets locked in place. Even the very aggressive egg. I don't think this egg's going to survive it. It will still fall, but it made a little bit of scratch. Epileptic Kid, he gets swapped back into the waiting arms of everyone. That puts him right on top of the drow. That reduces the damage quite a lot. The snowball saving out DM for now. He's just caught amongst everyone. Completely separated. He will still fall. Epileptic Kid jumps on back in there to finish up the kill onto General, but Elias had already dropped as well. So it ends up being a 2-for-2 trade. Just slightly favouring Na'Vi there as they took down the core, only losing their 2 supports. Well, I say support, but General's obviously the offlaner as well. 3.5. So pretty much just an even trade across the board there. Just slightly favouring Na'Vi in terms of gold, but even the XP difference is only 100. Very negligible. But that swap there from Always Want to Fly to bring Epileptic Kid back into the rest of Na'Vi, just put him right on top of Vichu, which obviously just reduced the effectiveness of the marksmanship. Maybe just hindering the DPS enough that it might have saved GPK's life, perhaps. It looks like they're not done yet. This all positioned up around here, waiting for this next Roshan. It's a very long respawn time though. Still got a minute 40 seconds left. General charging forwards with the rocket flare, scouts out a couple of it. Immediately gets held back by the Rod of Atos, but still gets that hook shot forward, connects onto DM. The Sunray burns quite a bit of damage. We're doing a bit of damage to himself. General gets caught out by the EMP, but it looks like DM will still fall. Iceberg though, he's caught amongst everyone, jumps into the backline, still ends up dropping. General actually died to the dot damage that was coming out from DM. So once again, it's just a trade between these 2 offlaners and both teams fall back. Just these little tiny skirmishes, not really developing into full team fights. So both teams just always position themselves up at this top portions of the map, waiting for the Roche to respawn. That is the next key objective between both these 2 teams. Even the net worth between the 2 position ones has been cut down to only 400 gold. So pretty even amongst them. A Nullifier actually queued up for Epileptic Kid. So what's that mainly going to be purging away? Not too sure yet, but Na'Vi, they've gone for a smoke up. All 5 heroes heading down the river. They will actually get popped out by GPK. Oh, the cook shot actually goes straight through the middle of all this heroes. Doesn't matter. Iceberg gets the jump forward, gets GPK stunned up. A couple of right clicks come out for V-Tune. It's enough to finish him off. So finally there is that hero advantage. The swap there from Always Want to Fly. They tried to bring DM back into it. Looks like Always Want to Fly might die for this, but at least they're going to get the kill onto DM as well. So definitely worth it there from the position 5. Lovely sacrifice. And Roshan's even spawned up now, so now we're going to roll straight on into this pit. Even regen room, just going to bring VTune back up to a nice healthy standing. We'll see if VP want to try and stop this Roche Snake. If they can. Cog it. Cog it. Should have cogged it, to be honest. But even still, I don't think there's any VP going to be able to get over here in time. So Aegis achieves into the hands of Na'Vi right now. So finally there is a little bit of an advantage between these two teams on the battlefield. Save's been very aggressive right now, charging forwards, tries to get a grab onto support, ends up just getting hookshot in by General, and that's just a free kill for VTune. And now it's going to try and focus now onto General. Sunshine connects, plus the Viper Strike doing quite a bit of damage onto him, and with a couple of impetuses on top, he will fall. Oh, bless me. Again, a sneeze. My apologies. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. I think, does General have a 4-star? I think he might need a 4-star to be able to get himself out of those sort of situations once he gets the grab. Because at the moment, every time he jumps on in there, he dies pretty quickly. Unless he's relying on... Has someone else got a 4-star on the side of the team? No one else has got a 4-star. So maybe that could be his next item to build up. But actually, he's already just going for the Ags. So he wants to go for those double hook shocks. Grab someone off. Immediately use the overcharge or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called now. And then just go for another hook shot. Bring loads of people out of position. Cause chaos in the back lines at the side of VP. And just allow VTune to just sit there auto-attacking away. Literally 1 goal difference between these two heroes, by the way. 1 goal difference. Incredibly close between the two. And it looks like Save gets caught out one more time. And now it's not 1 gold. Now it's 400. So Na'Vi just keep finding little pokes and prods. VTune just going to be gatling down this creep wave, waiting for his own to get here to take away the backdoor protection. He actually just slightly beats it. He's bringing it down. Plus the assisted damage from Iceberg as well. Who cares about backdoor protection, right? Pew, 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 pew. That's the tier 2 dead. They're rolling straight onto the tier 3 as well. Super long range committal there from VTune. Doesn't have to put himself in harm's way. And Iceberg doesn't even care about the tower. He's just going to stand his ground. Wants to try and burst through this repair kit. And it looks like they will. Just way too much damage. Epilepsy Kid is in the back lines. But out comes the Cataclysm. Does loads of damage. And no one even bothered trying dodging it. Iceberg actually ended up dropping himself. Epileptic Kid's hit. He gets the dagger onto Always Want to Fly. What? 2 crits. Brings him down in seconds. General tries to jump on in to save his life. But Epileptic Kid just manages to get the Phantom Strike out there to bring him safely. The egg is up. He will make a little bit of space now for VTune to try and keep himself going. The stun even connects down to DM and he will fall. But even still, it ends up being a 2-for-1. I mean, Na'Vi, they found the target they wanted. They got the tier 3 at least. They've even still got that Aegis intact. I don't think even Iceberg managed to use his cheese. No, he's still got the cheese. So it's quite an interesting build going for the E-Blade on the VTune. As well as having a Silver Edge as well. So the Silver Edge will be quite nice for purging away the evasion chance that comes out from Epileptic Kid, but surely a MKB would just be better for DPS, right? Because your attack speed could definitely make use of the item a little bit better. So we'll have to see how this pickup ends up working out for him. I could be wrong. It could be absolutely amazing. And it could just crush Epileptic Kid. But, I mean, it makes more sense if you've got a few heroes on your team as well that wants to do a lot of auto attack damage. But it's pretty much just Iceberg that really cares about auto attacks that much. Like General, Roger, and Always Want to Fly, they're not exactly going to be up there auto attacking away. But everyone's online, all the ults up. So now it's going to keep this pressure going and move back towards this tier 3 in the mid. Aegis has actually now just been reclaimed, so it's going to be a little bit dicey for VTune. As long as if they can keep their distance, they might be alright. Oh, what a Sunstrike. Perfect connection. Always Want to Fly actually tried dodging it. I don't know how he saw that Sunstrike coming though. But he actually tried sidestepping it. That was kind of weird. Map packs? I'm joking. So it's sort of a very similar sort of thing that happened in the first game, but obviously the roles were reversed. VP was actually ones who were in more control and just had Na'Vi box in their base, but it seems to be completely the opposite way around now. Na'Vi's got the dominance in this so far in this match, just making sure VP can't spread out and soak up any farm. VP have actually gone for a smoke up play outside their base now, on the hunt for something. See what they're able to find. So it looks like Iceberg will maybe pop the smoke on save. He's actually waiting. He does. It's a pretty difficult target to get though. It's the tankiest person on the side of Na'Vi, so it's not really the ideal target to initiate on. Especially seems how the rest of Na'Vi is waiting in the backlines to get in there and support him. But they're going to go for it anyway. GPK leading the charge. The Tornado and EMP actually off the mark. So Iceberg's able to get the Blink Dagger out. Summary coming out from Roger, just trying to burn out Epileptic. Doing quite a bit of damage. Lovely hookshot there from General. Connects onto him, pushes him back towards the rest of the team. Oh, just get a bounce between these two, between the two cogs. But then the Cataclysm comes out. VTune's still able to barely survive. Gets swapped out, but Always Want to Fly. Going to keep a safe distance. But he will keep his life available. Safe. He did die, immediately buys back, going to try and get back in there to lend a bit of assistance for the rest of the team. Jump forward with an Epileptic Kid. Lovely Tornado that comes out there from GPK, doing quite a bit of damage. Swap back from Always Want to Fly. Keeps Iceberg safe for now. Even manages to pop the cheese, but don't know if it's going to be enough. Now VTune to stand in the back, try and do a bit of damage. But the jump forward for Epileptic Kid just melts him in 2 hits. It's a disaster from the side of Na'Vi. Everyone dies. All they lose is GPK. Well, they did also lose save, obviously, with the buyback. But even still, that went perfectly for the side of VP there. Completely wiping everyone on Na'Vi. Only buybacks available for General and Always Want to Fly as well. There's not even a glyph. There's no glyph for 2 minutes. This could just be a set of racks down the mid lane. Once the creeps actually get it. Roshan 2 minutes away as well, so they don't have to worry about falling back to take that objective. They have to focus onto these barracks. So I think this build that's coming out from VTune right now it could be costly. It didn't really see much great effect that came out from the Silver Edge. They take down the middle set of barracks, working onto the top set as well. Iceberg's up in 10 as well as Roger, but I don't think this will be soon enough. VP's going to be able to take away the melee barracks. Epileptic Kid staying on for the range barracks, though he will decide to bail out. It will be a little bit too risky to stay there for that. But even still, huge objectives claimed by VP. A whole lane and a half taken away. They're even just going to set up for the Roche pickup pretty soon. Now even Butterfly queued up for Epileptic as his next item. Seems how, you know, VTune's gone for this Silver Edge. Why not? He will have his own Butterfly online pretty soon at least. He's only about 800 gold away. But even still, I think Na'Vi going to be a little bit shaken from that previous engagement. Roshan's nearly spawned as well, up in 6 seconds. GPK gets the kill to Always Want to Fly's courier to stop the vision advantage in the Roche pit there. It will respawn just as Roger walks into the pit as well, so both teams realise this is going on. We'll probably see an instant reaction coming out from VP. They need to go over here pretty quickly before Na'Vi is able to take this. It does die pretty quickly with the minus armor that comes out from the side of Na'Vi. But it looks like VP can be able to get in time. Tornado comes in, just connects onto VP in the moment. Plus the EMP. Egg is saved, tried jumping in to stop it from happening, but he ends up dying either way. Even with the egg bills, nothing that the side of VP could do to get in there to stop it from happening. Perfect grab. A nice jump forward once again from General. Gets the connection onto GPK. Looks like he will actually die for this. Even Iceberg jumping on there, taking loads of damage from Epileptic Kid, melting in seconds. This gets saved by Always Want to Fly, but the damage coming out from V-Tune. He gets the trying to push everyone back. They can't quite find any more grabs. Perfect tornado there from GPK. Makes plenty of space for the side of VP to fall back. So unfortunately, that hook shot forward there from General, it looked pretty good to try and grab another kill. But it's ended up actually putting them into a really bad situation, costing him and Always Want to Fly his life for not getting anything out of it. Maybe actually just halting their own aggression, which they could have potentially done, and pushed down towards the mid lane and tried to take their own set of racks. But even still, it is Aegis into the hands of Na'Vi, so they're happy with that. Definitely a much needed objective. If that fell into the hands of VP, it would have been really disastrous for him, having to go up against double life with a PA. But there was already the cheese used by Iceberg again. So V-Tune's got his butterfly online. We'll see what he's going to build up as his next item. Surely, I don't know. Well, he's technically 6 slotted right now. So maybe he'll just go for Moon Shards. Maybe the Aghanim's Blessing. I'm still not sure how I feel about this Silver Edge. It's like VP though, they've gone for a smoke up. Maybe potentially want to try and set up for some sort of play if anyone pushed out aggressively. But you don't actually end up running into one. Navi's on a smoke of their own, both hanging around the creep waves. V-Tune smoke gets popped by Ellis down the low ground. The tornado comes out and actually connects onto V-Tune. Perfect target. Jump forward from Iceberg. He gets stunned to Elias, but the lowest orb gets him stunned as well. He manages to melt that Elias pretty quickly. The save comes out for from the Noise on Fly, but it still puts V-Tune right underneath the Sunstrike and it brings him down. He will come back up with that Aegis. He's going to try and do as much damage as he can. And they actually get the return kill onto Epileptic Kid. He's gone for 100 seconds, no buyback. Saves just managed to get out there and escape with his own life. Divine Rapier? When was there a Divine Rapier? When did Epileptic Kid buy a Divine Rapier? Oh my days, this has gone from really bad to worse for VP. So Epileptic gone for 8 seconds, no buyback, and he's even just given a Divine Rapier over to V-Tune. This is looking really scary now. This base is going to die so quick. They could potentially just go straight for those tier 4s, but the amount of damage the V-Tune's going to be able to do. Just look how fast the media barracks dies. They're going straight for those tier 4s. Oh my days, they melt so quickly. Iceberg trying to make a bit of space. GPK jumping forward, tries to get the grab onto V-Tune. Everyone's safe, trying to forward down, punch him up into the air. He's taking quite a bit of damage. They just need to make a little bit of space to let V-Tune get out of there. They can't let this Divine Rapier fall onto the other hands. Once again, swap back, comes out from Always Want to Fly, but the Tornado, it still connects onto V-Tune. Everyone on the side of VPs is charging forwards. They want to bring this Drow down. It costs them the lives of GPK. Save's getting pretty low himself. He drops. And now it's just DM caught amongst everyone. Out comes the Cataclysm. It's going to do quite a lot of damage. Loads of hits land onto Roger, brings him down. Loads of buybacks as well. GPK trying to get re-involved. The Divine Rapier is now into the hands of Iceberg. It looks like Always Want to Fly is probably going to end up dropping. And everyone else on the side of Na'Vi, they're able to escape. It's just Always Want to Fly who's going to get caught out. Absolutely chaotic fight. Just everyone on VP just bum rushing for that Drow Ranger, wanting to bring her down. Take that Divine Rapier away. But I mean, it's still in the hands of Na'Vi. It's on Iceberg right now. And he is a tanky boy, so he's quite difficult to bring down. Well, it depends if the PA gets on top of him, because even the PA can shred this DK with the opportunity. And now VP is going to go for some sort of counterplay now. Going to start running down this mid lane. There is a buyback available for Vichu, and he's probably going to be forced to do it. The gem's still actually on the ground. No team really cares about it, though. I think you're going to have to buy back, I think, Vichu. Your tier 4 is going to take way too much damage if you don't. He's holding it back, maybe waiting for the correct moment for the rest of his team to initiate. Maybe the buyback does come in. Jump forward from General and the dive forward from Roger. Going to try and do as much as he can. He pops the egg. Doing quite a lot of burn damage. Ilias and Epileptic Kid being forced to run away. DM ends up getting caught out by Vichu, and he drops really quickly. Na'Vi just General trying to charge forwards. Nice Deafening Blast there from GPK. Makes enough space for everyone to fall back. But everyone's retreating in different directions. Iceberg. He nearly spots out Ilias there, but he managed to get the Glimmer Cape and TP away. So it's just DM who falls, and it costs the buyback of Vichu. So a nice little hold there from Na'Vi. Does cost them that big expensive buyback. So that's going to be on cooldown for a long time. But same as Epileptic Kid, he still needs 600 gold for his. He probably will farm that up pretty quickly, but even still. There's now another gem in the mid. I can't remember whose gem this was originally. I don't know if it was Na'Vi's or maybe their own. So this is what Na'Vi is going to do. Start heading back down this mid lane, going for another siege. Still this Divine Rapier into the hands of Iceberg. Maybe they just want to wait for his Dragon form though. It is a key part of his effectiveness in these coming fights. So it seems like it's sort of back to a sort of stalemate. Exactly the same thing we saw in the previous game. So both teams a little bit too on edge at the moment to try and make too many plays happen. There's been plenty of 5v5 skirmishes. But I think now the Dragon form's online, Na'Vi might potentially go for some counterplay, or they might just be waiting for the Roshan. Potentially up in a minute. It could also be 4 minutes. We'll have to wait and see how lucky Na'Vi actually is. So 3.3k sat in Vichu's pocket. Maybe just saving up for that. Saving up for the moon shards as his 6th item. Seems like he doesn't have to bother saving up for a buyback. Looks like a jump forward. Epileptic Kid stuck in the lane. Roger just maybe trying to look a little bit baity. He gets like hit by a mini stun, which cancels out his dive. But the Aeon Disc at least saves his life. And now he's just in full retreat. They actually spot out General. Tornado comes out. It actually manages to connect, as well as grabbing Roger in the backlines. Unfortunately, the EMP wasn't timed correctly, so at least General still got all his mana to play with. So Roshan, what's his spawn timer? 1:47, so still quite a long ways to wait. VP actually just moved all the way into the dire triangle. Well, that scan connects perfectly onto Na'Vi, and the fact that they've already got this sentry ward here as well, they know exactly that they're all smoked up. And Epileptic Kid's just pushing the creep wave into the base. Na'Vi just really want this Rosh. That's all they want, is this Roshan. It's still like a minute away though. They got quite a long time to wait. Meanwhile, their tier 2 bottom's probably going to end up falling. The glyph was actually used just to try to keep this tier 2 alive. I think you probably should have saved that for the tier 4s. It only adds a little bit of extra bonus time for you. So 38 seconds. VP is going to keep on shoving this wave towards the mid though. Let the creeps just slowly whittle down the tier 4s. But GPK, he gets a tornado grab onto Roger. Gonna drain quite a bit of his mana. Dragon forward, jump forward from Iceberg. Doing quite a lot of damage. GPK just gets deleted in seconds. And General jumps forward, gets the grab onto DM. He gets the BKB off and 4 staffs out of the cogs. But another hookshot forward from General gets another grab. And DM looks like he's just gonna get caught out. Both of them are gone. 100 seconds. No buyback on any of them. Oh, this is looking real dangerous now for VP. Roshan, he's up in 1 second. He has now spawned. Oh, you did check it. Oh, was a fly didn't check it? Or did they? Okay, they must have checked it. So this is going to be Roshan going for Navi now. We can imagine that it's even a... Oh, it's Refresher Shard as well. So this is going to be Aegis Refresher Shard, probably put into the hands of Iceberg to make sure this Divine Rapier stays intact. Another Divine Rapier finished up for Epileptic Kid. Who's got it? Okay, so they still put the Aegis into the hands of V-Tune. Iceberg's just got the cheese. So if they left the Refresher Shard into Roger's... I'd give the Refresher Shard over to Iceberg, surely. Because you want to be able to have those Dragon Forms online a little bit sooner. Especially seems how Roger already has a Refresher Orb. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out for him. They're going to start heading down this mid. Still no DM or GPK for 35 seconds. This is quite a long time. We're going to be able to do quite a nice chunk of damage onto these tier 4s. Epileptic Kid trying to get the grab now. Throws the dagger forward. Oh, if that crit onto that blade mail, that would have hurt. Especially seeing how he's got that Divine Rapier. The V-Tune just chipping away at these tier 4s from afar. Jump forward from General. Gets the easy hookshot connection there onto Elias. And he drops. Gone for 100 V. We'll immediately buy back. But now General's getting involved. The jump forward with the egg connection there from Roger. Just trying to make as much space as he possibly can. Save trying to make a bit of space as well, but it's not going to be enough. An immediate Refresher Shard pop by Roger once again. Just keeping these eggs spammed out, making as much space as he possibly can. Another egg pop. Locking everyone down in place. V-Tune's able to do so much damage. Epileptic Kid drops one more time. The age is gone. Finally, they bring down the Drow for the first time. He's immediately going to come back up, start laying into everyone on the side of VP. They're trying to bring him down, but they just can't. They've got not enough damage in the tank. Saves could end up dropping as well. It's just Ilias, the GPK left. There's nothing they could do to stop this. Triple kill for V-Tune, and that's just game over. VP call it. Oh my day, another long game, 53 minutes. Woo! Well played there, Bo Navi. It was pretty much exactly the same scenario as the first game. Both teams just had a deadlock for a really long time, poking and prodding at each other. It was a little bit closer because it seemed like VP could fight a little bit better than what Navi could in the previous game. But as soon as that first Divine Rapier hit the deck and went into the hands of Na'Vi, it was just a real uphill struggle there for VP to try and get themselves back into that game. And you could see they're putting so much emphasis on trying to bring down that Drow that it just caused them to dive really deep into the lines of Na'Vi. But, I mean, that's that last time when they were diving onto the Drow, it was actually the DK who had the Divine Rapier. So he was just sat there as Dragon Form, just going, well, if you're ignoring me, I'm just going to kill you. It's as simple as that. And sure enough, he did. And Na'Vi, they clinched the victory. So they've pushed this onto a Game 3. Another long game. So I think these players are probably going to be very drained. I'm expecting this third match just to be like a 15-minute, like, boom, done. Like, can you imagine? That would be quite spectacular. But even still, very exciting game there. We'll see who is able to take the third match and prove who is the best team in the CIS region. There's only one way to find out, and that's watching the next game. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching that video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it and the content I was able to provide. I am just starting out, so if you did like it and you want to support me in the future, then please think about following and subscribing to me on Twitch, Twitter and YouTube. I post on Twitter what events I plan on covering in the future and when I'm actually able to do some casts. I don't have the most free time in the world, unfortunately, so I can't provide constant content, but I can guarantee you every single time that I do cast, I'm giving it my all because I have a lot of passion for it, and hopefully that does come off. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you stick around for the next video. So hopefully I see you guys there. Cheers.